India in association with the Department of Commerce, Tezpur University. The seminar is supported by Business Standard and Multi-Commodity Exchange of India, MCX. May I request the audience to switch off their mobile phones or keep it in silent mode. May I request Upasa to escort the dignitaries to the dais. CME Manus Kumar Thakur, Professor Mihir Kanti Chaudhary, Professor Chandana Goswami, Professor Shubhranshu Shekhar Sarkar. May I request the audience to rise up for the university anthem now. Years. 2016 has been a special year for the university. The university is adjudged as the best central university in the country by none other than the President of India. It is ranked 5th amongst the institutions of higher learning in the country by the first ever Ministry of Human Resource Development conducted survey called the NIRF, that is, National Institutional Ranking Framework. The university is accredited A grade by NAAC. The university is within the band 601 to 800 best universities in the world by Times Higher Education. Professor Mihir Kanti Chaudhary is a well-known name in the field of chemical science as well as academic administration. Under his vision and leadership, Tezpur University has started the Department of Commerce and the Integrated AMCOM program in the year 2014. May I now request Professor Mihir Kanti Chaudhary, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of the University, to deliver the inaugural speech. Please, sir.
Gentlemen, boys and girls from my own institution and many other institutions must be represented here, and I must thank and congratulate Professor Sarkar for getting such a wonderful gathering, almost house full. Now, after you people, if more people come, kindly lead them to upstairs to the balcony. The President of Cost Accountancy, Institute of Cost, Institute of Cost Accountancy, our beloved Dean, Chandana Madam, the head and leader of the Department of Commerce, Professor Sarkar, other distinguished guests, who have come from the town as well as off the town, my colleagues, including registrar, the head of the business administration, all other colleagues sitting here from the management sciences, and some other departments. I also see KB Vice Principal. Where is your principal? Okay, okay, no problem. Please sit down. Friends, the Department of Commerce was started with a lot of thoughts. Generally, this university is rather careful in opening up any program, any department, any discipline, any school. Careful in a sense, which I'm sure other institutions are also, is that we keep in mind the employability of the human resource that we produce through such programs from our institution. We try to do our best, but it is for others to attest how much we have succeeded. But in our attempt, we do not spare any attempt that is required to justify before we start. And that's how the Department of Commerce started in the School of Management Sciences. We also had a plan, and still we have been having, that we must be starting the Department of Economics or the program of economics for masters and PhD at least to begin with, in some form, maybe applied economics or whatever name it may be, something with a current demand-oriented touch, which I could not succeed. But I'm sure the next incumbent or incumbents will take care in doing so. And in a way, good that we could not start, because we are also having some space crunch in the school where the Department of Commerce is at the present housed. So I think with all this will be in our favor in the future. I shall start with a humor on commerce. It takes me back to several decades when I was a student of first degree. I was a student of Bachelor of Sciences. So friends used to make jokes that those of us who do not know mathematics will go to commerce. Those of us who do not know English, they will also go to commerce. And others will go to science and engineering. But that's a joke. Anyway, but now you know that both the soft skill and the mathematics are equally important, as much as important in any other courses, any other programs. Jokes apart. Also, in some very good, well-known institution offering Bachelor of Commerce or Masters in Commerce or PhD, it's quite difficult to get admission. Near our home, Bokhel institution in Kolkata, only very, very bright students get chance. Even more near our home, Guwahati Commerce College, not everybody can walk in. That's quite tough. And there are many more examples. I have also come across, just maybe 4 or 5 days ago, a report giving an account of how the commerce students are getting placed. And it's a very, very heartening. I very briefly shared with Professor Shubhranshu Shankar, I don't know whether he remembers. LSR, what do you call it? What is the full form? Delhi? That Lady Shriram. And they are very, very well known for commerce for ages. And this year, their students have been able to fetch 34 lakh per annum a job. That is the latest information that I have gathered from a very reliable source. And my source is 100% correct. Now, of course, not everybody had been able to fetch that, but the others will be close to that. Now, what it conveys to us, so that is the kind of demand that we have for the commerce graduates commerce having cost accountancy, chartered accountancy, and whatever you name, commerce assisted by business administration, business management, and whatever you can link up. Because gone are the days where we had the classical programs like, say, MSc in chemistry, for example, right, BTech or BE in engineering. But these days, the things are getting, amalgamated together, and newer programs, newer kind of pedagogic articulation are coming depending upon the market. So my feeling that I would like to share with the would-be graduates that you need not have to really look for the classical degrees. You finish your BCom, MCom integrated here, elsewhere it may be BCom and MCom separate, and then you decide where lies in your strength, and then you move forward. I can only assure you that if we are worthy, which I am sure all of us are, all of you, I mean, are, I think job will not be a problem, but which is a must for us. The other point that I would like to touch upon, and which I think our Department of Commerce in the School of Management Sciences has been doing. Like the colleagues I see from the Institute of Chartered Accountancy, Cost Accountancy, and so forth, that is a must. It is something like having industries in some other program, because we have to understand that what is the kind of requirement they have, what is the kind of market force that they are anticipating, and taking this feedback from them, it is on us that we articulate our curricula syllabi accordingly. And in this university, it is something somewhat unique, because we are unitary, we have one campus, and we have a very disciplined bodies, be it Board of Management, the highest body of the university, be it academic council, departmental committees, school boards, research committee. People understand each other. We do not go there with the mind that somebody proposes and I should be opposing. So therefore, the change in curricula is not at all a problem. We need not have to wait for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, which is the case in many other institutions, many other universities. Here that is not there, so there is a beauty. Now why I mention that at any point of time, that you feel that this syllabus or these parts of the syllabi may not be all that appropriate for the graduating students, and we should be able to make changes. And incidentally, the whole world is going through some kind of transitions, and higher education is at the crossroad all over the world, all the more in India. Friends, the commerce, who understand the language of finance much more than many of us, I am sure more than me at least. India is one of the fastest growing economy, and to handle economy we need people who are expert in economic affairs, and the commerce graduates are one class in that. So there again, I would request you to keep eye and see how we can prepare ourselves. One of the fresh from the oven kind of example, as you are seeing, I'm sure even the younger students are quite alert about this. The happening that has been going on since 8th of this month, and as of today it will be continuing for some more time. There is a financial chaos. I don't want to blame anybody, that is not my intent. But certainly there is a chaos. Now there again, we need people like you to advise that how to handle it. There is the financial counselors, financial advisors, where you people are the experts or would-be experts are more important. I have been going through the situation. I am not sure, although it is said that in another few days, Prime Minister himself says 50 days, but the analysts say that going by the record of 1978, when demonetization was also done in slightly different form, it took 6 months. I'm just quoting the experts who have been analyzing this, to get to the normalcy. I only pray that this doesn't happen this time. The time should be very squeezed, because I am worried about the low-income group, the grassroots workers. Their misery is something that pains me. Although I'm not proud, but I must share my comfort. As a Vice Chancellor, I did not have any problem. I go to the bank, they oblige me. I go to ATM, everybody leaves the line. But these are just exceptions. I am not thinking of myself. I am thinking of many others. In fact, I also shared with my registrar that if this up-and-down line still continues, we must help at least our bank by helping them to issue coupons or token or whatever it is, so that the people need not have to go on standing for hours to do this. And I'm ready. I have shared with him. I have to leave today for some other work, but he will look after it and look at it. One volunteer also we can give, who can call out, so that the bank people should not give any excuse that we do not have manpower, we do not have this, that thing. I have even said that card the pest boards, make some tokens if it is so required. We should have done little early, but unfortunately it did not catch my attention. Also, some water, drinking water should be arranged so that people standing in the queue should not suffer from thirst. Well, these are apart, but then all these get amalgamated when you talk about the commerce, commercialization, and so forth. So, my dear young people, the country looks forward to you people on different attributes, but obviously one is the finance and accountancy. Accountancy and finance, people's requirement is everywhere. Whether it is a business house, whether it is a manufacturing unit, whether it is an academic institution like ours, or even a smaller academic institution like colleges, everywhere we need people with expertise in accounting and financial management. Now, your job, as I understand, is that to prepare yourself and be ready for competition. Soft skill, forget about the joke I said that not knowing English, soft skill also has to be taken care of. I'm sure the seniors in the school and the department, they are going to give leads. In this institution we have various possibilities including language labs, so take advantage of this. I do not want to spend more time because there are subject experts, the domain experts. You must hear to them and listen to them what they are saying. And since they are coming from the business itself, so we must hear what is their take on this particular issue. Hence, commerce today, but beyond commerce for tomorrow, sky is the limit. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, the organizers, for giving me this opportunity. I wish all the best to this endeavor. It's a one-day affair, very good. With these few words, I also take a liberty to declare the country inaugurated. Thank you and all the best.
Thank you, sir, for the splendid speech. The Vice Chancellor, sir, has kindly consented to attend the meeting, but he has to leave now for some important matter in New Delhi. But before leaving, may I request the Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, to release the November 2016 issue of the Management Accountant published by the Institute of Cost Accountants of India. I request Himapreet and Rajnandini to bring in the publications. Thank you, dignitaries. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, for your kind presence. So we thank VC sir for his kind presence. Professor Chandana Goswami is the Dean, School of Management Sciences. Professor Goswami joined the university in the year 1995. She has done FDP from IIM. Her areas of interest are general management and financial management. May I now request Professor Chandana Goswami ma'am to share with us a few words. Please, ma'am.
Two other colleagues who have come with him, Deva Prasanna Nandi and Arun Bakshi. The head of commerce, Professor Sarkar, my colleagues from administration and academia, and my dear students. Good morning, students. First of all, let me thank the organizers for having me here today. And for the students, let me tell you, you are living in exciting times. Did you ever hear of a concept called demonetization? Never. But now you're literally feeling the pinch, isn't it? I also learned about demonetization when I was an 8th standard student, 1978. But then we didn't feel the pinch because we really did not store 1,000 rupee notes in the house that point of time. We had the currency and it was available in the house. Believe me, the highest level of currency you would keep was a 100 rupee note. But most of the currencies that we used were 20 rupees, 10 rupees, 5 rupees, 2 rupee, 1 rupee, 50 paisa, 25 paisa, 20 paisa, 10 paisa and 5 paisa. You must have not seen those paisas, I guess. You are used to seeing those 100 rupees, 500 and 1000s. But yes, you are witnessing something which very rarely happens in history. Now that we are talking of commerce education and we are saying, professional age, let's give a professional age. This means that we need to have a differentiator. Let's see where the differentiator is. I am a BSc and MBA. I teach finance. I also train people in finance. So does Professor Sarkar. But he is a BCom MCom. Is there any difference between us? No, not so far. But what both of us cannot do is sign on some annual reports of companies because we are not that category of people. Neither are we chartered accountants, nor are we cost accountants, nor are we company secretaries. What I am trying to push forward is that only your degree of a BCom or MCom is just not going to suffice. If you are learning accountancy, it means that you also must be very comfortable with the accounting software that is available. Gone are the days of when you would actually really manually do your bookkeeping. I mean, you learn it like that in the class, not an issue. But then you must also be very familiar with the software that is available for you. That will give you that additional edge we are talking of. If you are learning finance, learn to use the spreadsheet. Excel is a very wonderful tool. It can help you in doing a lot of calculations. But I really do not think that commerce students actually are taught to do commerce calculations using a spreadsheet. And this I am saying from my experience of traveling across the country and assessing commerce institutions also. And this is the first question which I asked, that do you teach the students excel in doing your commerce applications? And the answer has been no so far. Additionally, you are all familiar with other things like your CMA, CA, CS, CMA, which you need to add on to your portfolio if you really want to be a differentiator in the market. You must have also heard of NISM courses, which I often mention to my finance specialization students. Take up a couple of those courses, add it to your stock. Not very difficult to pass those exams. They are online exams, centers are there across the country. Fees is only 1,500, which you can afford to sit for an exam. But get those certificates. They are the ones which will differentiate you in the market. That is where your professional edge will come in. This institute has a very interesting tagline. Behind every business decision there is a C&A. Well, we also have other taglines. Behind every successful man there is a woman. Mostly I hope it's a mother who is pushing the child to do better. And finally, for all the ladies sitting out here, behind every successful woman there is a whole family behind her. With these words, let me conclude, and I wish you have a wonderful day ahead, and please pick up some tips from the experts out here who can tell you where this professional edge can happen and will help you in your future. Thank you very much.
CMA Manas Kumar Thakur has been unanimously elected as the President of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India for the year 2016-2017. Apart from a fellow member of the Institute, CMA Thakur holds BSc and BCom degree. An academician with more than 25 years of teaching experience, he has authored several books on valuation management, operations management, cost audit, laws and audit, cost and management, etc. He has published several articles in reputed journals and offered his professional acumen in different institutes, including government organizations. He is a member of different chambers of commerce, like the Associated Chambers of Commerce and Industry of India, Confederation of Indian Industry, Bharat Chambers of Commerce, Indian Chambers of Commerce, and also an advisory member of CDR of State Bank of India. May I now request CMA Manas Kumar Thakur to share with us a few words of wisdom. Please, sir.
M.K. Chaudhary, in absentia. Madam Chandana Goswami, my friend Mr. Sarkar, of the dais, Mr. Biren Das, registered, my council officials, senior officials, a number of dignitaries, and my future proud Indian, my young friends. Good morning to all of you. First of all, I am feeling proud to be here, and a big thank to Tezpur University to accommodate us or to say something about the institute or in front of the students to say something. Friends, the program is Commerce, Education and Beyond, the professional age. First of all, I know the science, tertiary and commerce also. Every discipline has separate identity. It may be commerce, it may be science, it may be arts. Every discipline has separate responsibility also. But as I know the partially science and partially commerce. In every person's by heart is the commerce background. It may be science, it may be arts. As because if you pay some money, if you purchase some money, if you invest some money, everyone should think twice what to do, how to do, when to do. Not that he always with a cost accountant, chartered accountant or commerce background. It may be those who are science and those who are researcher, everyone is doing. So by heart, everyone is commerce students. So my request, a big clap for commerce stream. They are the basic socio-economic need fulfilled person. First, friends, if I say something to you people, if I go back in your period, it may be 30, 32 years back, when the dais like this I have seen, it was my idea at least, those who are in the dais, they are the expert, they are excellent people, they are unique people. But when myself in the dais, my idea, something different. When people like me in the dais, so you have the every possibility. You have the specific excellence to come here or more. Again I am telling, people like me, my past life was a footballer. So if I am here, you have every possibility to come in the dais or more. But you must fix your target first. You fix your target. Fix your target. It is too much easy. To reach your target, it is too much tough. To reach the target, you must prepare or develop some plan or strategy. The plan or strategy must be based on your available resources. Again I am telling, the strategy or plan must be based on your available resources. Otherwise, you feel frustrated sometimes. God has given you or ourselves to everyone one plus point. Please identify what is your plus point. A number of negative points we have, but to everyone, to me and you, God has given one plus point. If you move based on the plus point, you will win the match. You will reach your target. But if you miss your target based on the fallacy, suppose, as because I was a footballer, I am giving one example. God has given to me the beautiful left leg. So my coach select me the left winger. But internally, my target to be a goalkeeper. Should you think I will be successful in my life? No. As because God has given me left leg, beautiful left leg. So first you identify what is your plus point, and based on this you may succeed. This is my request. First. Second, if you do something, error is there, must. You all know rectification of error. Your life also, rectification is essential. If you feel it is wrong, please change it. Your success is the first and last word. Success will count always. Suppose, if one river flows and some obstruction is there, do you think river stop their journey? No. The target of river to reach the other way. So if you think this is a problem, you think other way. Your target to reach your destiny. Think like this. Life is a speedy, life is a culture. And another my suggestion, if you feel some person is negative minded, please avoid him. Those who are positive minded, please consult with them. There is no space for the frustration or negative mind. Again I am telling, there is no space for frustration. Be cheerful to win the match. But again I am telling, when your success will count, your success will count if you are ready to do something for your juniors, for your society. Your success will count if you are ready to do something for your society. Otherwise, there is no gap, no difference between human and the beast. Again I am telling, there is no gap, no difference between human and beast. As because we are human, our duty to think for the future, to think for the society. If I think continuous for my son, for my family, when I will die, only one family will cry, my son will cry for me. But if I am ready to devote for myself another 100 family, so when I will die, not only my family will cry, and another 100 family will cry. As because as a small person, so 100 family will cry, it is enough for me. So think like this, your success will count if you are ready to devote, to help for the society or yourselves. Don't think only your family, your mother is waiting for your success. Just you think, a number of family, a number of poor mother waiting for your service, for your cooperation. So again I am telling, take a challenge for your success, but not that your success will be in the small hole, only for one job, one family, one car, one flat, not like this. Your success is not in the whole. Your success in the broader sense. Your success will count when you are ready to serve for the society. This is my request, this is my suggestion to my young future generation. And regarding our CMA course, that is Cost and Management Accounting course, is the second largest body in the world and the highest, the largest body in the Asian countries, Cost and Management Accounting. We have 70,000 members and around 5 lakh students all over India and abroad. Our main job, the resource mapping, resource mobilization, and how to use the scarce resource, not only general accounting. That means indirectly we are the decision maker. But I just a few minutes back, either you purchase or sell or manufacture or close down the business, all are the decision. So the prime object to make a decision of our syllabus. Government has formed one cost accounting service cadre, again CAS, cost accounting service cadre, like IS, IPS, IRS, IES. Their duty, central government department, how they manage their resource, how they mobilize their resource, departmental, that means all over India, central government. So government has realized and they formed cost accounting service group for their benefit. And as per my mind, if you say, always the base cost accountant for everyone is our mother. She know how to manage the fund, how to manage the resource. Suppose in 1 month her earning is 10,000. She knows very well how to manage based on the 10,000. If it is 40,000, then she knows how much should save or how much spend. So our mother is the best cost accountant, and in everyone, just like I say, all are the accounting, commerce background, each one are cost accountant. But the difference is one. Everyone knows ABCD. But when it is word, when it is sentence, we require some expertise. We are like this. We know the form of sentence properly. We know the proper word. This is the only difference between the general people and the only CMA. Our 90% member is in the service. They are working hard for their organization, either PSU or private, to capacity build up their organization. So friends, this is my appeal to you people. First you think, earning or one job is not your life or not your target. First be a human being, and promise, I have to do something for the society. Then only your success will count. Thank you.
We have a few mementos for our dignitaries in the dais on behalf of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India. I request Simaprit and Rajnandini to bring in the mementos. CMA Manas Kumar Thakur sir will be presenting them. Is the head in charge of the Department of Commerce, State University. Professor Sarkar has done FDP from XLRI Jamshedpur, has done certificate program in entrepreneurship teaching from Indian School of Business, Hyderabad. He is trained in case pedagogy from Harvard Business School, USA. He has served as an associate professor at IIM Shillong during 2009 and social development issues. May I now request Sarkar sir to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of the Department of Commerce. Please, sir.
Program. Our special thanks go to CMA Manas Thakur, the President of the Institute, Dr. Devaprashanna Nandi, the Director of Research for the initiative. We are grateful to Dr. Rup Shankar Bakshi, Director Membership, for the gesture to attend the program. We also express our sincere gratitude to Mr. Vibhor Tandon and Diptendu Mallik from MCX, who will be reaching shortly here, for having an interaction with the participant. Professor Mihir Kanti Chaudhary, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Tezpur University, had to adjust his travel plan, his flight timings, to attend the inaugural session. We appreciate his gesture and love for the topic for the discussion. Professor Chandana Goswami, the Dean School of Management Sciences, has to cancel a number of important assignments and engagements to be here and for encouraging the students. We express our sincere thanks to you, Madam. We are grateful to Dr. Biren Das, Registrar, Dr. L. Boral, Controller of Examinations, and our faculty from the Department of Business Administration, including the Head Department of Business Administration, for their kind presence. We express our sincere gratitude to them. We are grateful to the University Administration for all their support. Our office personnel having commerce background have also taken interest and helped to organize this program. We appreciate their gesture and also urge upon them to be here. At the foremost, it is the participants of the program. I thank the faculty members of the institutes here, LOTD, and also especially to Sri Manoj Hajorika of Durham College, who was there to give the strength to us and through his Facebook request and everything. And it helped us, and it was unexpected gathering today. It may create some problem in tea and ultimate, but we should appreciate that you have come here to attend the program. It is the belongingness that which you show to the commerce fraternity and also in the broader sense to the business management as a discipline. So thank you all for coming here. And Dr. Jayasankar Hajarika, the principal of Durham College, is here. The vice principal of KV is also here. We thank you, sir, for coming here. We thank all the teachers and students of Durham College, Tezpur College, Chaidwar College, Koliamar College, St. Xavier's College, LOTD College, the KV Nagaon, the Titagore Gyanjyoti, Vishwanath Commerce College. And if I miss someone, because I will add it at the right forum afterwards. As a gesture to the teachers who are participating today, we will be issuing a participation certificate to you for this workshop, maybe of your use in any of the occasions in near future. We will also try to give you a copy of Management Accountants September issue generally to you. So please collect the same from us at the end of the program. Thank you very much. And there are several sessions afterwards. One session on career awareness, as you know, will be delivered by Dr. Devaprashanna Nandi. Then there will be a session conducted by the people coming from MCX, which is not known to us in detail. Whenever we think of stock exchanges, only the Bombay Stock Exchange or at best the National Stock Exchange NSE come to our mind. But the youngest stock exchange in India is MCX, and as you know, with the recent demonetization, probably our focus will also go to materials and commodities, etc. So Mr. Tandon and Mr. Maulik will be here at the appropriate time to discuss something about the functioning of MCX, and probably we hope that that will be a learning lesson for all of us. We also have a motivational session by Mr. Arup Shankar Bakshi, a pass out from IIM Calcutta, to deal with the motivation session, and we plan to end up the session by lunch. Thank you very much for coming here, and I hope that today's stay here at Tezpur University will be an effective one. Thank you once again.
Ladies and gentlemen, with this we come to the end of today's inaugural session. We will now have a short tea break of 15 have amongst us CMA Dr. Devaprashanna Nandi, Director, Research in Journal and Examination. Dr. Nandi had his graduation in Commerce from Goenka College of Commerce and Business Administration, Kolkata, post-graduation in Commerce from Calcutta University, MBA from IISWPN, Indian Institute of Social Welfare and Business Management, Kolkata, and PhD in Economics from the University of North Bengal, India. He has worked as Associate Professor of Finance, CIMA course leader, and faculty in charge of AMP, Banking and Finance at Symbiosis International University, Pune. He was the former Editor-in-Chief of International Journal of Productivity Management and Assessment Technologies, USA, and the editorial board member of several reputed international journals. He is a fellow member of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India, ICAI, and the Institution of Valuers, India, and the editor of the ICAI's pioneering publications, the Management Accountant, Research Bulletin, and CMA e-Bulletin. He is also a member of the Operational Research Society UK and Indian Public Health Association, and a member of the board of postgraduate studies with the Department of Commerce, Tezpur University. Presently, he is working as the Director, Research and Journal and Examination at the Institute of Cost Accountants of India. He is closely associated with the Associated Chambers of Commerce and Industry of India, CII, Confederation of Indian Industry, and other renowned industry associations. He has vast experience in industry, teaching and research, and economics, business administration, and even has written noteworthy books on management, economics, business communication, entrepreneurship development, and performance management. May I now invite Dr. Devaprasanna Nandi to the stage. I request Bhagya to escort Sir to the stage.
I am audible there also, na? At the top? Yeah. So actually this is the first this type of event that is being organized by our institute and Tezpur University Department of Commerce. So since last 2-3 months we have a long discussion with Professor Sarkar, and we are kind enough, our President sir is here, and other professors of the institute, my colleague Mr. Bakchi. And there are so many faculty members of different schools and colleges, and my beloved students. Actually, when we actually designed this type of seminar, commerce education and beyond the professional age, actually we got a very good success at Calcutta University. On 27th August, we did this type of seminar there with around 50 colleges and around 1,200 participants are there. So we got the success, and we thought that why can't we share this type of information and this type of career awareness among the other parts of India, maybe the northeast part of India. So that's why we are here to organize this type of seminar. So I can use the word career awareness rather than career counseling because this is one sort of awareness between the students regarding the commerce education and the beyond. So actually, we thought that the commerce education, myself is a commerce graduate from Goenka College of Commerce, one of the premier commerce college in Calcutta, the eastern part of India. But at that time, actually I did my commerce in the year 1988-91, 3 years commerce course in honors in accounting. So at that time, we don't have this type of career awareness in our mind. We just did this commerce, postgraduate MBA and all sorts of things, and we get into service and all these things. But nowadays, the situation is very different. Why this is different? You see, at that time we were discussing with the President, Arun sir also, and Professor Sarkar also, that at our time in 1988-91, we have economics in our subject. Like we are reading the economics paper. There is a paper, Economic Problems of India, EPI, we told that EPI. Okay, so we have Indian economy paper. We used to read the papers like black money, okay, that internal trade barriers like that. So you used to say that there is a parallel economy that is there in Indian economy. But politicians, they used to say about that, but never any government or anybody, they dare to take some actions on that. But you see, in last 2-3 years, couple of years, you see that GST is coming up. Okay, that means that internal trade barriers between the state that will be removed after implementing GST hopefully from 1st April 2017. Regarding this curbing this black money issue, we have voluntary disclosure schemes, VDS, and now we are seeing demonetization. So there are so many schemes, there are so many updates that is coming up so gradually, so drastically by the governments all over India. Global effects is there also. So that means we have to be professionally competent to grab those opportunities so that we can cope up these changing scenarios that is being going on all over the globe. So that's why we thought that commerce education and what is beyond. That means if you have to grab that beyond part, you have to become a professionally expertise person. That means, if say for example you are a BCom and some competencies that comes from outer sources, that is the professional aid you should get. So that's why the government of India also, they thought, say 70 years back, 80 years back, that the students who are dealing with the commerce background, maybe from science also, that because our president has already told that commerce is not a part and parcel of the commerce people only. It is all over India, all the human beings, they are dealing with the commerce thing, because when you purchase something, when anything, anywhere there is a commerce item is there. That is why the government thought that there are different ways of defining commerce. Like there may be some financial accounting, there may be some auditing, there may be some costing areas, there may be some corporate laws, company affairs like this. So there are different bodies, there are different professional bodies that has been incorporated by the government of India. So that's why first they came in the year 49. They basically served their actually customers there. Actually they practice in the field of financial accounting, auditing, all these areas. And in the year 1959, the government incorporated this Institute of Cost and Works Accountants of India, did an ICWAI. Also 15 years, in the year 1959, they got that government assent and they have become the ICWAI, the corporate affairs. So that is their main domain for the company secretaries. So there are three basically different areas. One is this financial accounting, auditing, this thing. Another one is the decision making and this the top apex thing. And that is another one is the corporate laws and affairs thing. So there are three different bodies. They are doing this professional. They are basically, that's why I will be discussing more on the Institute of the Affairs and how the institute operates and how they deal with the students and what are the courses and what are the benefits of the students, what are the areas they can explore, the commerce area and the beyond thing particularly. So we will be discussing on that. So I think after my discussion, benefits of the institute already presidents are also defined. It has actually basically the institute has 96 chapters all over India and we have 9 overseas centers all over the globe and having 4 regional centers, Kolkata, Delhi, Chennai and Mumbai, and the headquarters is at Kolkata. That is one of the important things, that only our institute having its headquarters in this eastern belt. So there is an opportunity for the students. So to pursue this type of course, whose headquarters is only the headquarters of the institute is located at Kolkata. So now at present we have 70,000 members. So who are the members of the institute? Those who passes out this, pursues this course and complete the final course and having some experiences, they have become the member of the institute. That is one of the most prestigious things. They may be the member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, Cost and Accountants of India, as well as the Company Secretaries of India. Sometimes both of the say chartered cost, chartered company secretary like that, or myself like cost accounting. Explore my career in other ways, PhD and other thing. Sometimes some people they have done chartered cost both like that. So our syllabus is that it is framed in such a way that you can pursue the syllabus, you can pursue the course along with your graduation also, your master's degree also. You need not have to close down your content of the CMS. So this is our syllabus. How we frame our syllabus? Actually, every organization, just in the morning session, Vice Chancellor has also said that they also frame their syllabus according to the industry needs. That's why the university has become the 5th rank holder among the different universities in India. I think in India nowadays, private university and central university, state university, there are thousands of universities everywhere. In all districts, we have one university. The Tejpur University has got the 5th rank. And in world ranking, it has become 601 or like that. Why? Because they have some structured syllabus. there are some industry, they take the industry feedback for restructuring their syllabus. In our case also, we do, you say, based on IFAC guidelines. We have some guidelines, International Federation of Accountants. You can Google your, when you are in your free time, you can search this IFAC organization. They have some structure of industry, some international guidelines for revising the syllabus. We have skill sets, knowledge comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis and evaluation. And the third point is very important. We have 4 knowledge pillars like management, strategy, regulatory function and financial reporting. You see, there are 4 pillars of management is there. That is being elaborately covered in our syllabus. The first one being the management, because the decision making comes from that perspective. The second one is the strategy, from management to strategy, then the regulatory function. Even if in our syllabus the corporate laws, corporate affairs, everything is there, and the financial reporting, lastly the financial reporting. These 4 pillars are there. On the basis of that, our syllabus has been devised. And it is mapped with some international bodies like the CIMA. CIMA is the largest CMA body. We are the second largest. CIMA is the largest CMA body in the world. We also map their syllabus. With the UGC curriculum also, you are following as a university student, you are following the UGC University Grants Commission syllabus. Okay, and it is being framed by your university. And it is aligned with the different boards, those who are coming from the schools. You see, there are several boards, CBSE, ICSE. There are some, I think today's news is there. There are some changes in class 10 syllabus in CBSE from next year like that. Okay. So all is aligned, all this syllabus, and as per the, lastly, the most important one is as per the industry requirement. Because what you have started that commerce education and beyond, you have to become employer. That's why our industry feedback is more important. That's why when we revise our syllabus, our people, our CMA people, those who are in the industry, in the top positions, we get feedback from them, what they require. Okay, next. Sorry. So we have basically 2 types of career opportunities that you are mostly interested in. One is service and the other one is practice. And in service we have industry, we have academia. There are so many cost accountants there in academics also, as a professors, assistant professors, associate professors, lecturers, in different capacities, maybe registrar, controller, like that, in different universities, colleges, and the industry is there, always there, all the PSUs. Okay, actually you know some of the big PSUs like Core India, ONGC, Indian, there are so many CMAs, they are working, and the practicing opportunities. Nowadays that is an important arena where CMAs are now entering, that is the practice. That was earlier the main domain of the chartered accountants. They used to do the practice only, the financial accounting, audit. So this is the latest syllabus structure of our course, CMA course, foundation, intermediate and final. And if you can map this syllabus with your BCom or MCom, maybe of your higher secondary level also, you can see most of the papers are well known to you. Sometimes it is a wrong conception in your mind that these type of syllabus, professional courses, are very tough in nature. But practically it is not true. Because sir, our president sir has said in the morning that he was a football player. He was meant to play, his main motto was to play football. But he is on the dais as a president of the institute, of the prestigious institute. How, if he can do it, if he can do it, you can also do it in a more effective way. You see the papers, like in the foundation, the economics and management fundamentals. It is being done in your higher secondary. Fundamentals of accounting, fundamentals of laws and ethics, and fundamentals of business mathematics and statistics. These four papers are in foundation courses. In the intermediate, you see the papers, financial accounting, laws and ethics again, direct taxation, cost accounting. All these things are being covered in your first year of BCom syllabus. Group 2, operations management and strategic management, which is not, mainly it is not done in the BCom syllabus, it is done in the master's level. Cost and management accounting and financial management, indirect taxation, because the Indian taxations, more taxation papers in your intermediate syllabus, one direct taxation, one indirect taxation, and company accounts and all. So these are the papers in the intermediate level, 8 papers. So So I think most of the papers, 80% of papers are very common to a student, become level students. And in the final level, at least in the group 3, you see financial management in intermediate, and now the strategy has been adapted, because as a cost accountant, as a cost and management accountant, you have to be more adaptable in the field of strategies and decision making. Next one, strategic cost management, decision making, particularly decision making, and then again direct tax laws and international taxation. Now the world has become, after 1991, more globalized. That is why the concept of transfer pricing, the concept of international taxation has become more popular. That is why it is there in our syllabus also. Okay, and in the final, that group 4, that is, I think, these 4 papers may be somehow not known to the become students, but maybe for the master students also. Corporate financial reporting, that is the indirect tax law and practice. This is more or less practice oriented, practical oriented. And then cost and management audit, because this is the main domain of our cost accountants. And the last one is strategic performance management and business valuations. This is mostly on case study basis, and this is mostly like your MBA in his mind. We can grab it after 2 years also. This we can believe. This calculus is not like that. The calculus the student used to they used to have in BSc syllabus or like that. The simple things that is applicable in business. If you can apply your mind, if you are an art student even, there are so many examples. Even if I can give one example, that last CEO of Indian Bank Association, IBA, Mr. What his name was? Anyway, actually he was the CMD of some earlier any banks. Actually we have a discussion, we have an interview published in the Management Accountant also. Mr. Thanks, sorry. We have a direct interaction with him, we have an interview. He was basically an arts graduate. Okay. But he did this CMA course when he was a banker at the age of 50 years. He became the CMD of some bank and then become the Central Bank. He became the CMD and then he became, after retirement, the CEO of IBA, Indian Bank Association. Indian Bank Association is association of all the banks. Okay, so there is hardly a problem, those who have some numerical or mathematical.
No. For myself, after graduation, I took accounting.
Taking coaching on accounting, and then he passed that costing course.
Everything, it is a logic. If you put your mind based on logic, it will.
Okay. So the question is very relevant. I think hopefully you understand my point. You are satisfied? Okay. Any other question? So, I think I should stop here because our time is very limited. So thank you everybody for patient hearing and giving me this kind of environment and ambience to deliver it. Thank you.
Very much, sir, for enlightening us with the various career prospects in the field of cost accountancy. Ladies and gentlemen, moving on to the next session, which will be an interactive session with experts from MCX, Multi-Commodity Exchange of India Limited. MCX is India's first listed independent commodity exchange established in the year 2003. It facilitates online trading, clearing and settlement of commodity futures transactions, thereby providing a platform for risk management. MCX offers futures trading in bullion, base metals, energy and agro-commodities. Although we have heard about MCX, but we never had the opportunity to know about it in details. And today, we are fortunate to have Mr. Vibhor Tandon, AVP, Assistant Vice President MCX, and Mr. Diptendu Maulik, Senior Executive MCX. Mr. Vibhor Tandon is an MBA from IISWBM with 16 years of experience in financial markets. He has been a speaker at more than 350 seminars, workshops and events, and member of committee of several Chamber of Commerce, institutes and associations. To felicitate our guests with a full namaste. Thank you.
Now I hand over the session to Vibhor sir. Please sir.
MCX Multi Commodity Exchange of India Limited. To the faculty members of Tejpur University, and thank you very much to the ICAI EISC Kolkata, Mr. Nandi sir, Mr. Manas Thakur, President, for giving us this kind of platform to present Multi-Commodity Exchange of India Limited. I think it's a very new subject to the students. It's a very new subject. I believe that. We gone through this kind of presentation with the various universities, colleges, institutions like that, because this is a very new subject all over the world. It's a very new subject in the sense means particular word called derivative. Have you heard about this particular word derivative? Anybody? They started commencing their business like trading on various segments. First, we just wanted to know that what do you understand by commodity? Any idea about what do you understand by commodity? I'm asking students. In general sense, what do you understand by commodity? Later on, just wanted to speak about the future market. What is certain in this world? First one is tax, and the second one is uncertainty, because we don't know our future. That is most important thing. Derivatives. Basics. General meaning of derivative: byproduct, resultant product. If you go through it, like a milk, and the derivative product is butter or ghee. What is financial derivative? Instrument, tools whose value, price depends on the price of underlying. Underlying can be commodities like a gold, wheat, crude oil. Currencies like a US dollar, euro. Stock examples like Infosys, Reliance. Stock indices like BSE, Sensex. Weather products on rainfall, temperature. It is there, already exist in US market. Based on underlying, commodity derivatives, equity derivatives, foreign exchange derivatives, credit derivatives. Based on marketplace, exchange traded, over the counter. Exchange traded means whatever you are seeing over the terminals, like you're buying and saying, somebody wants to buy 10 Infosys, 10 Tata Steel, and that is called exchange traded. And somebody is buying, out of the exchange traded, like somebody wants to buy a piece of land or 10 grams of gold. This is totally over the counter. Over the counter. Commodity future contract and its functions. A commodity futures forward contract is a binding agreement between a seller and a buyer to give by the seller and to take by the buyer delivery of the underlying commodity at a specified future date with the agreed upon payment terms. Has anybody understand this? No? Gone through the, whoosh. Exactly, Like it is a contract between the buyer and seller. Contract between the buyer and seller means it's a future contract. Suppose in the month of December or January, I am just going through a terminal and I have seen the gold prices is 31,000 is going on. As on date, with a specific margin, 5%, it can be 5% margin, piece of land in particular area. Now the price is going on 1 lakh per kata. You are dealing with a kata, no? This katas. 1 kata is 1 lakh rupees. But expecting that after 3 months or 6 months, the price of that particular piece of land will go up. So what we do, as a price threat in future. Is a price threat that we are thinking that the price of that particular piece of land will go up. To reduce that price risk, as on date, we are giving a token money to the seller, and we just enter into an agreement with the seller that I will buy that particular piece of land for a specific period of time, like a 6 months or tenure might be 1 year. I am giving you margin amount of rupees 10,000, that is 10% of that particular total entire agreement. So as on date, because of the future price threat, I am just giving a margin money to the seller to book that particular piece of land. So the entire operation is called nothing but the future trade or a forward trade. Understood? Any another example you want? No response. That means you have not understood. Yes or no? Please loud. Otherwise I will understand that you have not understood the entire thing. So future contract is nothing but to reduce the future price threat or price risk. Might be your understanding. Suppose we are also doing during the month of January or the month of February or March, there is a marriage time. We are also understanding the price of the gold will go up. So during that period of time when there is a there is a month that Hindus they don't go for marriages because of time and something like that. This is not auspicious for the marriage and all these things. So that moment you will find the price of sometimes the price of the gold will come down. So this is a time to enter into a contract with the jewelers that I will take the delivery in the month of January, but I am entering into an agreement with the jeweler right this moment or tomorrow, because I am getting the price of the gold is running low, at the lower side. Might be after 1 month or 2 months, the price of the gold will go up. So as on date, I am just entering into an agreement with the jeweler that I will take the delivery in the month of January or February in a specific period of time. Like 15 February, I just want to take the delivery. But as on date, I can enter into an agreement with the jeweler. Understood? Because of the price trade. So this is a future trade, nothing but. So improve economic infrastructure, encourage ecosystem for efficient price discovery, assign right economic value to ecosystem, participants' contribution, transfer risk among heterogeneous market participants. Key features of modern exchange. We are the modern exchange like MCX, they are the largest commodity exchange in India and 6th largest commodity exchange all over the world. Like Chicago Mercantile Exchange, they are heading the entire commodity market in US. Chicago Mercantile Exchange under NYMEX is there. NYMEX deal with the energy sections like a crude oil, natural gas. COMEX, commodity that exchange, they deal with the entirely base metals. Heard about COMEX? Heard about NYMEX? No? So they are the huge, biggest, largest commodity exchange all over the world. They are dealing with the base metals. Like we have 4 segments in our basket. Like the first segment is bullion segment. Under that we will find gold and silver. Second one is base metals like zinc, copper, nickel, aluminium, lead. Third one is energy like a crude oil and natural gas. And the fourth one is agro like a mentha, like cardamom, cotton. We deal with all these agricultural products. Like with the near about as on date, we have more than 50 to 55,000 crores per day daily transaction, more than. So we have 4 or 5 existing regional exchange and more than 16 national exchange and they are always in the profit side. Second one is speculators. Speculators are the major players into the market. They either in the profit side, they might be either in the loss, negative side. They always go for the one-sided. Either they will buy, like example, suppose at this level of time I am expecting that 30,000 the price of the gold for the 10 grams is going. So I am expecting in the month of January or February, might be the price of the gold will go out. All future contracts are individually approved. Delivery and settlement procedure is to be vetted by SEBI. We just gone through it. All of them are appointed by SEBI, either FMC or the Ministry of Finance. Retired IPS, retired, these are the persons who are appointed by the SEBI or the FMC, Forward Market Commission, or the Ministry of Finance.
This small session on commodity derivatives. But it is not really easy to address an audience who becomes happy at the thought of a particular session being over, which I just saw. But what I can really promise you is that we can probably try to make it as interesting that you would not really want this session to end as fast as you want. So how many of you still are looking forward to this session coming to an end fast? I hope not many. My colleague Ditendra has already spoken to you and he has given you a brief idea of what commodity derivatives are. I'm sure for some of you it would have been the beginning of a new world of commodity derivatives, where you've understood that besides the other instruments which are available in the markets, including the stock markets, the bonds, there are other instruments, there is another instrument which is known as commodity derivatives. Looking at the larger perspective, if we talk about the financial markets as a whole, I think most of us are students of the financial markets, most of us are students of finance, so I'm sure that this is going to be of a lot of relevance to all of you, whether it is in terms of interest, knowledge, or in terms of your career. So talking about financial markets, it is basically a mechanism that allows people to participate in various forms of trade. And this market consists of the capital market, where all of you are aware of, which all of you are aware of, what capital markets are. You have stocks of thousands of companies which are traded on these markets. The debt market, which comprises of various debt instruments, primarily bonds. The forex market, where currency is traded. You've heard of these markets? No. The commodity market, which my colleague Ditendra was just telling you about, and the money market, where institutions such as even banks trade very short-term requirements of money. Since our subject is commodities, in commodities, as mentioned earlier, there are 4 different segments in this trading habits. One segment, which is important to the entire country and to the entire economy and to all our stomachs, is agriculture. Right? So there are various agricultural commodities which are traded on the exchanges. Then secondly, there are base metals, where we are talking about mainly non-ferrous metals, which includes copper, zinc, nickel, aluminium and lead. Then there is the energy basket, where crude oil and natural gas are traded heavily on the exchange. And I'm sure crude oil is something which all of you would have heard about. Right? Some of you who really use your own vehicle would have been monitoring the prices of crude for a long, long while. And some of you who watch TV, specifically talking about the business news, would also be following the prices of crude oil in recent times. And of course, besides that, is another interesting commodity, which is the bullion, which includes the precious metals segment, which is gold and silver. There are 2 major functions of the commodity markets. What exactly are the two major functions of any market as such, for that matter? If it's easy to immediately match it in one move. But will the trade happen? The trade will happen on a particular price where both of you agree to transact. So on a particular price where you agree to sell and where you agree to buy, right, the transaction takes place, right? So just like you are hundreds of you here, there are lakhs of buyers on one side in the entire country, lakhs of sellers on one side in the entire country, putting their bids for buying and putting their bids for selling, right? So at a particular price, particular point of price, where these bids match, the transaction takes place. And that is known as a last traded price of the particular commodity. Or that, for that matter, is known as the current price of the particular commodity or a particular stock, right? So today if somebody asks what is the price of gold, and you say that it's 32,000 rupees, or somebody asks what's the price of aluminium and somebody says 110 bucks, then you understand that currently it is being traded, it is being transacted on that particular price, right? This entire process where buyers and sellers put in their bids and ask prices and trading happens, this entire process is known as price discovery, right? Because who discovered the price? Wire manufacturers, primary manufacturers or suppliers such as the Hindustan Copper or Nalco, right? And various other industries such as automobile, processors, they are really bothered about the physical market prices of various metals. So these physical market participants are exposed to a particular kind of risk. What kind of risk are you exposed to when you are doing business? Anybody? The risk of loss, right? What is the biggest risk in a business? The biggest risk in business is that you might really make a loss. You incur a loss in the business. Right? How do you make the loss in the business? The most important, or I would say the most common way of making a loss in the business is to lose money to somebody who owes you the money, which is credit risk. And the second most important risk, or the most riskiest risk I would say, is the risk of price fluctuation, right? Because if you are trading in a particular commodity, if you are trading in a particular physical market, you are exposed to the risk that the price of a commodity, excuse me, might rise, might fall, right? If you are out there to sell the particular commodity, price rises, you're happy. But if you want to buy, price rises, you're at risk. Right? So this risk can be managed if you are able to manage your risk on the physical market, on the futures market, by making a plan. Can you give me some water, please? On the physical market, there's a thumb rule. Whatever I intend to do on the business side, I will be doing the same transaction on the futures side first. And when I do that transaction on the physical side, I'll be squaring off or doing an opposite position or opposite transaction on the futures side. And this is known as hedging in simple terms. Hedge transactions on the exchange are designed to lock in, right, or fix a particular price and thereby to protect the normal profits of the business from adverse price fluctuations. Going a little more deeper into these markets, or having a macro view of these entire markets as such, what exactly are the larger benefits? What exactly is the larger picture? What are the economic benefits of these markets? Dissemination. Because of this benchmark pricing, there is increased awareness about quality standards also. And finally, there is integration of the rural, the urban, and the global markets. The benefit overall, the benefits range the derivative side, the Indian derivative side today. At the helm of affairs, on the regulatory side, we have the Ministry of Finance, under which all of us operate. The Ministry of Finance has a body which is SEBI, which is the Securities and Exchange Board of India, which is the regulator of these markets. And under SEBI, we have the capital markets and the commodity markets. And the commodity exchange or which are also regulated by our markets. So with this, I come to the end of my presentation on the various economic benefits, various aspects and functions of the markets.
There has been a lot of price fluctuations in the physical market of gold. So what will be its effect in the derivative market? Will it lead to, or will it cause any arbitrage opportunities? Sir, another question I also wanted to ask that what is the scope of commodity swaps in India?
Okay. Please take a seat. This monetization, demonetization which is happening. What does it do in a bottom line? I'm not really an economist, but what it comes to in a logical manner, if you try to analyze, what it does is that it reduces the supply of money. And therefore disruption in prices leads to opportunities, yes. So whenever there are movement in these markets, there are opportunities which arise in these markets. But it depends on various market players as to how they figure out these opportunities and how they're able to utilize these opportunities in these markets. Talking about the various other instruments which you have asked about, like swaps, etc. One particular instrument which I can mention right now, besides future, which is currently traded in these markets, we have option, which is a very important instrument, which we expect to come up very soon, because our regulator has in principle agreed to allow options, and we expect that we will have trading in commodity options very soon once the final guidelines are framed in the coming days.
You have put a question in this questionnaire that any specific training program on commodity derivatives. Do MCX provide any training program how to deal with derivatives or of commodity derivatives?
Yes, I mean, there are various levels of training which are there. Like what we have done today is giving you a very basic idea of commodity markets, right? Giving you a very basic picture of the commodity futures. And now, what we can really do in future, depending upon the demand, depending upon the requirement is having specific training provided, which can be maybe for, if there are training which we provide for corporate or physical market, or the people who actually want to take up risk management, how risk management can happen in details, maybe an advanced session of 3 to 4 hours. You can do that. We have done these sessions in the past for various universities, for research scholars, for doctorates, and for corporate. I'm thankful to all of you. Put forward your questions to us so that we can really try and make an attempt to answer it. And I'm even more thankful to those who have kept quiet.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's indeed an honor and pride to be here among such a learned community. We had invited Rotarian Ramkishore Gupta, the one and only cost accountant of Tejpur. But due to deteriorating health condition of his mother-in-law, he had to rush to Guwahati. He has sent his sincere apology for not being able to attend the event. Now may I request Professor S.S. Sarkar sir to brief the audience about Mr. Gupta. Please sir.
We call Ramkishore Gupta here. Ramkishore happens to be a student of mine when I joined Dharan College in 1993, and he was in the first batch. And ultimately, he remaining in Tejpur, he went to Guwahati and cleared his ICWA Inter and ultimately ICWA Final, and he came back to Tejpur. Now he had some options that being a qualified cost accountant, what to do. What we find in cost accountants is that 80% cost accountants are employed. The opportunity is in the corporate, in the factories, and earlier we used to say cost and works accountants, and now the institute has tried a lot to get the rechristened the name. So works, the W word is not there, it is the CMA, cost and management accountants, to enhance the periphery of cost accountants. Ramkishore Gupta is, as far as I know, that in Tejpur I have not seen any AICWA here, so he is the person. So ultimately what he decided that when there is a no chance of, no prospect of private practice, and he had an established business of his father at Tejpur, and so he thought that let me go for the business. As far as the livelihood is concerned, because as you know that when you study, it is for knowledge of course, but the main objective is livelihood of course. that we have to earn our livelihood to sustain. Then he found that in business the money is more probably if he gets some job as far as cost accounting is concerned. And he runs a good dealership here. He has a dealership of Microtech inverters and all batteries, etc. So probably his earning is more, but probably he forgot about something about cost accounting. It doesn't happen with a chartered accountant. The chartered accountant gets a scope for many reasons, and he has a private practice and all these kind of things. Now the institute is headed by a very dynamic chairman, as you have seen, C.V. Manoj Thakur, and now we are here to know something about the Cost and Management Institute of Cost and Management Accountants. We purposely invited the students who are doing their higher secondary, HS. Some of the things which Mr. Vivar Tandon has already shown to you, you might not have understood many things. But it is our intention is that, like Ram Kishore and myself also, I studied the ICAA Foundation course with my BCom. And as I completed my MCom, my ICAA inter was there. But as long as I joined my service, so my ICAA was inter only, could not do. But now I have been told that inter is inter, and now I can again do the finals. Good. So let's see. So this is the cost accountancy, and probably with the changes in the economic environment, the cost consciousness is coming up. The prospect of cost accountants are also going to be increased. As a re-Christian name is cost and management accountants. The qualified CMAs are not doing only costing, they are going for management accountants also. So for that purpose, I invited Ram Kishore to share his experience, that the knowledge which he got in cost accountancy course, how he could implement, utilize in his own business. It is not that he is doing, I have only just told you one part of the story. The other part is that being a qualified cost accountant, he gets advantage everywhere, being a businessman. So it is not that being a cost accountant you have to only do the job. There is a lot of things that entrepreneurship, and there is a qualified professional degree which gives you value wherever you go. In your visiting card, if it is written that you are a CMA, people give of course the value. And this is the purpose for which we invited him to share his experience, that how his knowledge he utilizes in his business. But unfortunately, because of the deteriorating condition of his mother-in-law, he had to rush back to Guwahati. So for this, I thought that let me brief the audience about the purpose for which he was invited here. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Arut Shankar Bakshi, Director, Finance and Membership. Mr. Bakshi did BSc from Calcutta University in 1986, FICWA in 1990, with All India rank holder and Certificate of Merit holder in both intermediate and final, and PGDBM from IIM Calcutta in 1998. He has over 25 years of rich experience in management, business development, CRM, advisory services, research operations, finance, administration. Priyanka to escort sir to the stage. Thank you. With some motivational thoughts. Please, sir.
Dignitaries, my seniors from the institute, my fellow students. It's always a pleasure to go back in time, because you can see with much more clarity of what you are today when you look back. Now, I want this to be as interactive as possible, because this is very unstructured. When I was told that what you've got to do is to motivate the students, I was at a loss. Okay? How do we do it? Their main objective is study. But I personally believe without motivation, even the studies to get results, whether you're a student, whether you're on a job, being motivated is very, very important. Now, I want help from you. 3 things I want you to do, because once I get into it, I'll lose track of time, my focus will be on you. So, if you feel that I've run out of time, raise one hand. I'll know I've run out of time. If you get bored, raise 2, so that I know you're getting bored. But you stand up when you start feeling hungry. I'll let you go. Right? So that is the help I need from you. I'll straight away go into what exactly is motivation. The keys don't work, so someone has to To see people whom you don't see in everyday life. You learn from them, you observe them, you share your views with them. It's not only I am talking, I want to hear from you so that I also get some value inputs. Can any one of you share why you feeling motivated today? Sitting over here, the energy you're feeling or the motivation you're feeling, what is the reason? Any idea? Anyone wants to share? Is it because you are seeing new faces? Is it because you're getting new inputs? Or is it because maybe many of you perceive to reach where perhaps people who are speaking over here, they may influence you, perhaps deep down inside your heart, as President said, one day you will be on this part of the dais. It is not that we know more than you or we are more intelligent than you know. It is we have been on the other side of the fence also. But if you have certain things in mind, as you said, a target, if you feel motivated, if success of others, this is critically important to be motivated, if success of others pleases you, nothing can be a greater motivating factor, because you have got the best of the teachers of here, your parents are the best teachers, and you are a part of the group. If by observing others, if the success of others motivates you, believe me, the sky is the limit. Sky is the limit. What we didn't realize in a student days, we did not have these kind of forums, we didn't have the internet, we didn't have Google, we didn't have so much of connectivity. To make a trip, to visit a place for a vacation, we had to plan 6 months in advance. These days things don't happen that way. Whenever you get a time, like when you go with your parents, I'm very sure, very few times it will be 6 months planning. It may be planning, say, if it's a major trip, maybe 6 weeks. If it's a weekend trip, it may be 6 hours. Let's all go. Let's all go. The world has changed. The world has changed. And with the changing world, what we see in our students is they don't have patience. They don't have the patience maybe to sit with books. By and large, I'm making very general statements. It is not, it's indicated, you may or may not identify yourself. But because we deal with students, we deal with members, we deal with the industry, we take feedback from the industry, what is expected from students? Because by the word student I mean future, potential people in the industry, whether in practice or not. I'll just take a small break over here, and I'd like to rather clarify certain points because I have the advantage of being the last speaker. So I have what I was listening to all the dignitaries who were talking. So I thought there are some, because sometimes we assume that the student understands everything. Now, if I put myself back there, maybe what we talk about is very valid, but it has to be brought down to your wavelength. So a couple of clarifications I'd like to make for you to understand better. I'll start with our own course. It's always charity begins at home. I also believe criticism begins at home. Couple of sentences which were discussed today is, let's say statements like, say 80% of cost accountants are in employment. 90% of cost accountants are in employment. What I want to clarify over here is, it does not mean that the other 10% is unemployed. What it means is, the other 10% may be in practice. If it's 80%, the other 10% may be in practice, the other 10% may be in business. We did not have that kind of exposure. To us, the world news was the radio, the documentary which they have started again. That day I went to see a movie, which I regretted later on seeing, but the documentary was on Sardar Patel. So they have started back that again, to know yourself, to know your land, to know your history. We had it at that time. So it's tremendous, you learn from that. But today, of course, you don't have to depend on it is there in your palm, it's there. The other piece of advice which I'd like to give you, I don't know whether this will motivate you or demotivate you, for heaven's sake, do not be slaves of your cell phones. It pains me so much when I go to social gatherings, friends meeting after 20 years, after 15 minutes of talk, each and every one of them are busy with their WhatsApp or Facebook or whatever, this chat, that chat, WhatsApp. Yes, they have changed our life. Yes, they have made our life a lot simpler. Like when I was here, the campus was so beautiful. The first thing, I got up in the morning, I took a couple of pictures and I sent it to my children. Before they go for school, perhaps they'll see. It was not like that. a roll of film used to cost 10 of a lakh. 10 of a lakh. A roll of Kodak film, a roll, each and every shot counted at that time. Because if I take a false shot, it's going to cost me money. A roll used to last for 2 trips. These days, you give someone, go in a trip, within an hour, 5 rolls are finished. So I was thinking, is this life more motivating as a, this changed life? Or was we, the old men and women from the back, early 60s, 70s, 80s, it's debatable. Maybe we are trying to understand you. You should also try to understand us. Try to pick up the positives from us. We try to pick up the positives from. Why should we pick up the positives from you? Because India is going to be a nation of youth. Unless we understand you, we won't survive. At the same time, you need to understand, by us I mean your parental level, your leader level, your teacher level, and there has got to be somewhere in between a thought where we can, I'll use harsh terms taken from movies, where we can coexist to the best of our satisfaction, where conflicts are not, right? As students, I feel you are in one of the best universities in the country. You are in one of the universities whose name is read throughout the world. I feel, since all of you are, or most of you are from commerce background, students of commerce, even if you are not, even I was not a student of commerce, I also did my bachelor's in science from Calcutta University. When I shifted, I didn't know ABC of commerce. No, I can't say, in my 10th, I think there was an optional subject, I had taken accountancy. Basics, there was a book called Buckley Boy. I'm not sure whether Buckley Boy is still in circulation or not. But basic idea was just the basic entries. Debit what comes in, credit what goes out, 3 golden rules and all this stuff. So when I migrated, I want to share why I migrated. Today I'm happy I migrated. Why I migrated from science to commerce. I didn't do bad in science. I had acumen for science. But there was a friend's father. I want to share this with you so that you understand why I'm talking all this with you. I had a friend's father. He was a very close friend of mine, a childhood school friend. His father was a chartered accountant. Whenever I come from a business family, Bengalis usually don't go in for business. My family was in business for more than 100 years. It was a printing business. It is still there. I was a black sheep who came out because of this Mr. Mitra. Sanjay was my friend, Sanjay Mitra. His father, he came from a very, very middle class background, not from Calcutta, from outside. So when I used to go to his place, that time he was a top shot. He was a financial controller of a big multinational company. Later on, he rose to the point of chairman in that company. Now, Mr. Mitra, when I used to go to his house, he used to tell me that when I came for admission, he wanted to study science. He says, when I came over here, I saw the queue on science was, he went to Vidyasagar College, and he found that the science line was much longer than the commerce line, due to whatever reason. Maybe commerce admission they opened first, that was maybe last day in science or whatever. And he said, I've come from so far, let me take a hand. I mean, this is a true story, I'm not making it up. And he took up commerce. He chose chartered accountancy, and he says he's a very mediocre student, but I'm again quoting him, chartered, costing, within company secretary, it's 99% respiration, 1% inspiration. This is what he told me. He said I was a very mediocre student. His English wasn't good. He was from a village, but he came and he put in the effort. A couple of you actually come up over here, stand beside me and share your experience, that what motivates you. Is there anyone who would like to do that? Mind you, everything has a positive impact. See, we sometimes feel people who are doing their MBAs, they are, many say they communicate better, but having gone through the course myself, let me tell you, our MBA is no different from any one of us or any one of you. It is how you do. In the MBA course, what is drilled into you is whether you like it or not, when someone asks a question, someone has to compulsorily come up. At the initial stages, inhibitions are there. If I go over there, will I feel shy? Will I start trembling? How will I face that? This eye contact is very, very important. How do I maintain my fluency? What is the audience going to think about me? This, you have got to shed your inhibition. Whether you're doing the MBA course, whether you're doing the CMA course, whether you're doing your graduation course, you have got to, and what better forum than this? Believe me, in my college days, I never faced anything like this. Our college, during those times, mid-80s, they never called in people to, just to interact. So when you're getting the chance, I'll be very happy. Otherwise, I'll feel I failed to motivate you. In the last 15-20 minutes I've talked, unless a couple of you really come up on your own, I'm not forcing you, and share what exactly motivates you in life, I'll feel that I'm taking a huge risk. I'm exposing myself of being branded as a non-performer on stage, but I want to do it. I want a couple of you, at least a hand or two, who really come up and share. Yeah. Someone I know you are scratching your head, but you put up your hand. Madam, you are scratching your head, you must come up. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Everyone, myself, Tajuddin Ahmed. I'm teaching at St. Xavier's College, and many of my students are there. I'd like to share my own story. Actually, till my class 12th or degree first year, I used to play professional cricket. My son is also there. He used to encourage me very much. While we were practicing, there was a guy named Ranjit Mali. His height was like 5'2" or 5'3" inches, and he was a pace bowler. And all the guys used to laugh at him because with this height, he is not going to play for the state also. We thought like that. So he was very hardworking. If our coach tell him to run for 10 rounds, he used to run for 15 rounds, like that. And now at present, he is playing for Central Railway, Indian Railway. He inspired me very much, and by seeing him, what I did was, during my childhood, I was a physically very unfit guy. My legs were unfit, and my father went to my coach, and my coach told him that bring some instruments for exercise at home, and I took it as a challenge. And people used to laugh at him when I ran. So people used to laugh at me. Even some of my junior coaches were also. Then I took it as a challenge, and I worked very hard with Ranjit Mali. And later on, I also played for Assam, and got a call for East Zone also, East Zone camp. But during my 12th, because our financial condition was not very good, so I left cricket and started for study. And what motivated me to...
I enjoyed so much because I learned. Today I learned there's one more chapter to whatever I gather from the seminars. So before quickly running through my presentation, is that I would love if a student shares, because believe me, till my class 11, I was very shy. I was shy of public speaking. I come from a missionary school where we had a lot of people who were basically, Anglo-Indians, Chinese, people who were very outgoing. I was an introvert. I was very shy. It was a co-educational school, and then what happened is, one day, I said enough is enough. Class 12, there was a slot for debate. And I was from Greenhouse, and way back in 1982, I was in class 12. And there was a slot because the person who was there, he did not turn up. It was kind of extempore. So my house captain, I still remember someone, Christopher Jones. His name is Christopher Jones. He was, good body, athlete, okay in studies and everybody looks up to me. He just came and told me, boss, please do something about it. We are putting you on debate. What? First of all, I said, what? Me? How? No preparation. I mean, and then what hit me is, if he had that confidence in me, okay, he was in a spot. Maybe during normal time, I would have come in his mind. But when I thought, there were others also. Why is he coming to me? Maybe I have something in me which I don't know. Maybe I'm as good as the others. Then I told myself, someone has to break the ice someday. And I took up the challenge. It was a debate about primary education and secondary education and stuff like that. Relevance of should English be abolished from primary education. It was a roaring topic of that time. And I don't know what happened to me. Something in me changed that day. When I got up on the stage, perhaps I was trembling, I was sweating, I could feel sweat running down. But when that time these kind of things were not there, you know, the rock stars, when you go for a function, you find those big mics, which is actually, you're supposed to sing in them, but they start dancing around with them. So those kind of mics are there. Not these also. They are big ones. And something happened to me. I was facing the audience, but I couldn't see the audience. I just felt that I'm in a room talking to the mirror. So I've got no fear in me. If I make a fool out of myself, the whole world won't know. And I spoke that day. I don't know where it came out from. And I'm so, even now I'm in touch with Christopher Jones. He is now, I think, Vice President with Deutsche Bank, posted in Hong Kong. I am so very grateful to him that he forced me to speak. Because today, maybe I would have still had that stage fright, which I can see from reactions of you, because all of you have participated, but you don't want to come up. So, just to make my day, just to have come from so far away. The only intention is, if my experience can be of value to someone, if my experience can really change the thinking process of someone, I'll go back with that will be my reward. So I want at least one student to come up here, shed your fears, think you're in a closed room, talking to yourself in the mirror, and share your experience of what motivates you. Anyone? Please, please.
I'm Shushmita Sharma from Tejpur College. I want to share an experience. I have studied my class 10 from Tejpur Gurukul. With the good marks, I decided to choose an option of taking commerce. In 12th, I studied, but something somehow happened. My marks were not that good in my final examination. And it was, I won't believe, like I was getting 47% in my 12th. Like I was shattered. I never thought I would get that much mark. In my lifetime, I never got such marks. That the day I thought I'm not made for commerce. I'm not the thing I should be in commerce. I was like, I went to college. I went to my HOD, Utsav Tamil sir. I said him, sir, I don't want to further go in commerce. I'd better switch off to arts. Like the day, I still remember Usha Kyaut ma'am, Nutan ma'am, and also sir. They were there with me and they said, no, you are for commerce. You need to again give the exam, reappear the exam. We believe in it. That part of thing, the teachers believe in me. I will never forget. They believe in me. They took they asked me, just reappear the exam. We have believed in you, we'll make you teach. And it is for something I really want to share. 1 year, I was given like a private student, I again reappeared, betterment exams. No teacher teaches you like for betterment student, we don't get other classes. But they gave me extra classes. They really motivated me in such a way that obviously I passed out, getting 70% marks in betterment exam, giving only 3 exams. It was a day, I'm so thankful for them today. I felt so motivated. Yes, I'm made for commerce. And I do want to pursue a career in commerce. I really want to thank them. And this was how I get motivated with my teachers. Their belief in me got me motivated today. And here I'm standing near you. Thank you.
Who are there behind you every time. You don't realize the kind of inputs they have, the influence they have on us. Anyone else would like to share experiences? Come on.
I am Navasmita Kaur from St. Xavier's College. So whenever people ask me what is your aim in life, then my answer always to become a chartered accountant. But some people told me that means they discourage me instead of encourage. Discourage me like that, oh, it's really very tough, it's a waste of time. So one way they compelled me to think that it's really very tough. So when I express these things in front of one of my sir, then he asked me that are they see it that how can they say that it's really tough or waste of time. So these things really make me motivate, and coming here after knowing that these people was a student of science, but they are success in this field also. So I am very much motivated, and thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Just if you permit me 2 minutes. English may be the official business language, but you have got to be a good communicator. That does not mean you only talk in English. A good communicator is someone who can convey. It can be in any language, it can be in any form. A person who cannot speak, if they can make you understand by the sign language, he is a better communicator than any one of us. Remember that.
A very good afternoon to all. मैं बताना जा रहा हूँ कि मेरा ASM SSLC जो सक्सेस, एक्चुअली मैं सक्सेस ही बोल सकता हूँ इसे। तो मैं बोलना अब मैं जब क्लास 9 में था तब मैथमेटिक्स में एकदम पूर था। तो मैथमेटिक्स में एकदम पूर था, फाइनल में मैथमेटिक्स के फाइनल में मुझे मैथ्स में 18 मिला था। तो मैंने सोचा कि ऐसे करो तो कुछ भी नहीं हो सकती मेरी लाइफ में। तो मैंने बहुत मेहनत किया है इसमें, और मैथमेटिक्स में बहुत ज़्यादा ही मेहनत किया था ताकि मैं मैट्रिक में कुछ अच्छा रिजल्ट कर सकूं। तो मैंने आई ट्राइड हार्ड, एक्चुअली हार्डेस्ट, और मैट्रिक में बहुत मेहनत किया था। फर्स्ट 3 मंथ्स मैंने कोई ट्यूशन वगैरह नहीं लिया था। फिर आफ्टर 6 मंथ्स मैं मैथमेटिक्स हमारे उमेश सर तक ट्यूशन किया था मैंने। तो उसी वजह से सर की वजह से मैंने मैथमेटिक्स में इतना परफॉर्मेंस नहीं बोल सकता, मैं इसे परफॉर्मेंस किया था। तो क्लास 10 में मैं बिफोर प्री फाइनल आई ट्राइड हार्ड इन मैथमेटिक्स इन ऑल सब्जेक्ट्स। तो मैट्रिक के टाइम में मेरा बीमार हुआ था, जो हेडेक और आँख का प्रॉब्लम। बिफोर प्री फाइनल आई वेंट टू नेपाल फॉर ट्रीटमेंट, एंड वहाँ पे कोई मुझे बोला था कि ऑपरेशन करने, आँखों का ऑपरेशन, लेकिन वो ऑपरेशन नहीं हुआ था। तो मैंने घर आके वो किस्वा हॉस्पिटल में मैंने आँखों का चेकअप कराया, फिर चश्मा वगैरह दिया है। तो मैट्रिक के टाइम में आफ्टर एग्जाम, बिफोर एग्जाम, मैट्रिकुलेशन एग्जाम से पहले मुझे इतना हेडेक हुआ था कि मैं एग्जाम अपियर ही नहीं कर पाया था। तो एग्जाम के टाइम में आवर स्कूल हेडमास्टर एग्जाम के टाइम में डेली दो बोवेरियन इंजेक्शन, डेली एग्जाम के टाइम में दो बोवेरियन इंजेक्शन देके मुझे एग्जाम देने के लिए भेजा था। तो आई ऑलमोस्टली क्राइड एट दैट टाइम। मैं सर को बोला था नहीं सर मैं नहीं दे पाऊंगा एग्जाम, क्योंकि मुझे इतना सारा हेडेक, तो मैं कैसे दे पाऊंगा एग्जाम, और अगर एग्जाम में भी हेडेक आया तो मैं एग्जाम दे नहीं पाऊंगा। तो सर ने बोला कि बी कॉन्फिडेंट, तुम प्रीवियस मंथ्स में जो पढ़ा है, इतना सारा से जो पढ़ा है वही तुम एग्जाम के टाइम में जितना पढ़ा है वो मत सोचो, इससे पहले जो पढ़ा है वही जितना दिमाग में है वही सब लिख दो। तो फिर मैं भी कॉन्फिडेंट हो गया था। एग्जाम देने के पहले एक बोवेरियन इंजेक्शन लिया था, फिर आने के बाद और एक बोवेरियन इंजेक्शन लिया था। तो मैंने भी अपने कॉन्फिडेंस बनाए रखा था और एग्जाम भी दिया था। फिर आके यू कैन बिलीव मैं ASM असम हाई मदरसा बोर्ड में फर्स्ट रैंक आया था और अब असम में। और उसी वजह से और उसी वजह मैं बोल सकता हूँ कि कॉन्फिडेंस रखो, कुछ भी हो कॉन्फिडेंस रखो। तुम अभी नहीं पढ़ सकते कोई बात नहीं, लेकिन इससे पहले तुमने जो पढ़ा तुम्हारे दिमाग में जो रखे वही तुम सोचो और वही सोचो और एग्जाम में जो है वही लिख दो। कोई नर्वस वगैरह होने की कोई जरूरत है ही नहीं। और आई एम currently studying in Durham College in BSc Mathematics। तो मैंने सोचा था कि मैथमेटिक्स में क्लास 9 में 90 नंबर आता है कोई बड़े बात नहीं, और मैं SSLC में 92 मार्क्स लिया था क्लास में और असम स्टेट बोर्ड में ऑल ओवर असम में फर्स्ट रैंक भी मिला था मुझे। और सबसे बड़ी सक्सेस तो ये हुआ कि मैं नासा जाने के लिए भी सिलेक्ट हुआ था। I got first rank in ASM and I got selected for travel NASA। तो मैं वहाँ पे NASA भी गया था 2013 में NASA गया था। और वहाँ का लेकिन वहाँ का एनवायरनमेंट कुछ अलग था। वहाँ का साइंटिस्ट एस्ट्रोनॉट से भी मिला हुआ था और साइंटिस्ट और इंडियन साइंटिस्ट भी थे, लेकिन वहाँ का एनवायरनमेंट जो है वो इंडिया से काफी डिफरेंट था। वो इंडिया से काफी डिफरेंट था और बहुत ही अलग था। उन लोगों का नेचर्स बहुत सिंपलिसिटी है, उनका बिहेवियर्स बहुत ही अच्छा था। इंडिया से तो एकदम डिफरेंट था। तो मैंने सोचा था कि जब एस्ट्रोनॉट से मिला था तो उनका जो लेक्चर्स वगैरह उसको मुझे 90% समझ में आया नहीं था 90%। तो मैंने सोचा उन लोगों का जो वो मैं मोटिवेशन स्पीच भी सुना था। जैसे कि मैं मोटिवेशन स्पीच दिया था 90% समझ में नहीं आता और मैं फर्स्ट रो में बैठा था। तो मैं क्या करता था और हमारे सारे के ऐसे बैठा हुआ था, समझ में आया नहीं और इतना नींद आ रहा था कि कुछ समझ में तो आता है ही नहीं और इतना नींद आ रहा था कि कैसे सुनूं। और हमारे जो टीचर्स था वो गाइड था, डायरेक्टर ऑफ सेवा और एक IAS ऑफिसर था, वो लोग आए ही नहीं इस मोटिवेशन से, क्योंकि सारा दिन स्पेस के में घूम के उन लोग इतना नींद इतना टायर्ड हो गए थे, वहाँ पे आए नहीं, हम लोग के भेज दिया। और वो फास्ट रो में बैठा तो ऐसे बैठा कि जो मोटिवेशन स्पीच दे रहे थे वो भी शॉक हो गए कि ऐसा बैठा। फास्ट रो में हम 11 थे, सब ऐसे बैठा हुआ था, बाकी सब सुन रहे थे, हम ऐसे बैठा हुआ था। इंडिया सब कंट्रीज ज्वाइन किया था, तो हमने इंडिया बेसिस हमने ज्वाइन किया था, तो हमें सेकंड प्राइज मिला था वहाँ पे।
I can see the cameraman standing, so he's hungry, so we should break. So, nice, but please enjoy yourself. Work and study hard. Motivate yourself and others in turn. And believe me, this, as he said, is be to NASA. Sky is the limit. Have a good life, have a meaningful life. Thank you so much.
To all the volunteers who came out here to share their experience. Thank you. So now, we would like to have some feedback from all the faculty advisors from the various institutions who are here today with us. A mic will be circulated in the audience and we request you to kindly rise in your seats and please share your experience regarding today's event.
And I'm very sure that all my students and also the faculty members from different colleges and institutions are taking back a bag full of knowledge and also experience. And I'm sure all my students also, they also had a very nice time, and even me, I have gathered information regarding various things and also a lot of motivation. Thank you.
December 2016, we are organizing an inter-institutional quiz competition in the memory of Professor Madhav Chandra Bora, the first Dean of the School of Management Sciences. This quiz is open to all students and the prize money are, for the first prize, rupees 7,500, for the second prize, rupees 5,500, and for the third prize, rupees 3,500. For further details regarding participation, you may refer to the Tezpur University website. Now, I'd like to request Sarkar sir to please take the dais.
By your presence, we did not expect the number. Actually, we sent a mail to all of you to give us some kind of head count so that we can arrange for your lunch. That was the intention of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India. That is a practice that when it ends on the midday, nobody should go without food. And that is the way we tried to go for a very tasty food from city, not from the campus. We had a comparison of taste. We thought that, okay, we bring it from the city, that would be better one. And we counted the total as far as the feedback that we received. The first feedback with all names, everything received from Kaliabar College. So we appreciate the gesture of Kaliabar College for sending us all the names on time. Had it been in all the cases, we could have arranged very nicely today's lunch. But it did not happen. When we called the colleges, the response was very lukewarm. Many of the cases, the response was that পরীক্ষা কিবা আছে নেকি সেশনাল হৈ গৈছে স্টুডেন্ট তো আজিকালি নাহে আমাৰ কলেজৰ পৰা 20 জন মান যাব চাগে আৰু তেনেকে থাকে so in this way we thought that okay this hall will be a bigger one we'll shift to, we have another council hall which is a smaller capacity we are thinking of that but then there are people like Manoj and Kankana and also our sir in LOKD and our some of the students who spread the news and really it is so nice and we get a strength of commerce education in Tezpur University. So thank you very much for coming here all the way. And believe me, there is a bright future always. There is a bright future. When I joined in commerce, incidentally I had some high marks in my metric. So when I joined in Dharan College first to study higher secondary, people are asking me, why are you in commerce? All your friends are in science. That was the intention. But if you are in commerce, field to okonman khali thake de bol dibole sahoj hoy. So I got a position in higher secondary. Had it been in science, I would have been a mediocre. Tar bhal bhal ora soli bahut thake, tar general ora soli ko koribo nware de. Yar general ora soli jodi algot bisare ki bata koribole, there is a chance. And this time will never come back again. So you are doing your BCom. In our case, it was 1 year. Now it is a semester system. In our Tezpur University, we tried to make the syllabus also in such a way. Guwahati University syllabus is also good. Purposely, we have called the higher secondary students. When you can make your career planning now onwards, with BCom, side by side, you can do something. Today, you have heard the cost accountants. You have heard Bakshi sir to talk about this. In commerce students, we find a problem that we do not have the public speaking capacity. I remember in Dharan College, one of my students was there, Kuldeep. So one day, we invited him to talk in the dais. Next 4 days, he was telling that, sir, I cannot walk because my legs are paining. Because he was shivering so much in the dais that he could not walk for next 3 days. It happens. So that's why this is a platform that we took a chance to invite you all. We don't get a chance every time. Probably this is the first time in 22 years history of Tezpur University that we are calling commerce students like this. It doesn't happen always. And we are very happy and President sir is also happy to see so many students here. We surpassed Calcutta University. It is 600 there, so we have now the hall full here. So this is the strength we are showing in Tezpur and locality here. So there is a scope, sir. Our students are comparatively very brighter. When they go outside, when Assam students go outside, they always prosper. They click. Somehow the education quality is good. We are sincere people, mostly the study which is being done here, and that is the thing you are getting here. It is not a rock show or a pop show. Normally it happens in career. If it is the academic things, we get all empty seats. If it is something here, when a pop or some kind of film artist come here, normally we invite many people like this. And then we find this kind of halls. But this is the time when the Vice Chancellor is also impressed to see the people. Probably we can do more for commerce education in the near future. We join hand in hand. Principal of Dharan College, one of the largest colleges in the state, he was here. So in collaboration with all the institutes, we can do something. And when you have come all the way, all students, we are here. Now during this we have some kind of crisis, so to say. So I am here to just share that. We arranged for some lunch packets, but as you know it's outnumbered, so we cannot manage with those lunch packets for all. But we wish nobody should go without food here. So the second lot is coming now on the way. The first lot is minimum lot is there. So what we will do, the first rows, they can go like this. Or you can please bear with us that some people may get packets, some people will get it on plates, and those things are coming. Probably the things which are coming in plates will take some time, around half an hour. So, but please move around here and there, enjoy the. So he has told that the packets already reached, but it will not solve our problems, because the number is not equal to the number here. But please, we have already arranged, and the people who are making it to tremendous level to make it for you. So if you do not take, that will go wasted again. So kindly be here for some time, move around somewhere. The t-shirts, of course, we will take them to nearby place here, so that they are, they are the people who led you here, and they are the people who think of you always, and that's why we will take care. And please do not go. We will you can, when the program is over, kindly maintain some kind of discipline. We belong to commerce. The students, you belong to commerce. Your prestige is our prestige. Some of the people have already, মই অসমীয়াত কৈছো, আমাৰ নতুনকে পুলি বহাইছিলে বাহিৰত। এই পুলি কেইটাৰ ওপৰত তাৰমানে এনেকে গছকি দি গৈছে। And it created a huge pain in the heart of our horticulturists. You see, in Tezpur University, we go for a cleanliness always. We have a etc. on that day here. But if on the next morning you come here at 8 a.m., you could find everything clean. So please, all of you are the Department of Commerce guests. So that's why please you show that yes, commerce students are good students. So that's why when you go outside, please take your food. Some will get packets, some will have to wait for some time. The packets are coming. So those you can just have a discussion on you that how it can be done. We thought that the first row people who came first can take the packets and the others can wait. Some people told me the outside people can take first and they can go. So there are many equations. And we thought the outside schools which they come, they can have a round of the university, they can see, and then they can get food. So it's a equal thing. So just bear with us, we will try to manage, and please see that all of you must take food here at least, and you can roam around here if it takes some more time. Thank you very much once again, and it gives us courage to invite you again to do something for the department, for the commerce education. At least in the Northeast we can do. If we cannot be like Sridham College of Commerce, we can be somewhere near to that. Thank you, and wish you a very bright career in future. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of today's event, and I request all of you to rise in your seats for the national anthem.